Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share my very first fall themed card with you, and I used the Lawn Fawn's Build-a-House die set and the Jump for Joy stamp set. First I stamped out all of the images from the stamp set onto Bristol smooth cardstock using Versafine Onyx black ink, and I'm coloring them in using Arteza brush pens and Zig clean color real brush pens. This video is part of a challenge from two of my crafty friends, and the prompt was to use the Lawn Fawn Build-a-House die and pastel or soft colors. So I really hope I got it right with this card. I typically would have used a lot more intense colors to really bring out the fall leaves, but since the theme was soft colors, I made them as soft as I thought was appropriate for fall. I'm just coloring in my little critter and all of the other images. The colors of the pens I'm using will be listed on screen. Now I'm ink blending the background using squeezed lemonade, dried marigold, and spun sugar distressing. At first I thought I wanted to use the spun sugar, but I ended up not liking it, and I just covered the part of the spun sugar with the dried marigold, and I like that much better. I just keep blending the colors back and forth until I'm happy with the result. For my background, I decided to use the Spooky Scene die by Bluebird. I die cut it from Bristol smooth cardstock, and for the hill I'm using peeled paint distress ink, just a little bit to give it a fall vibe for my grass. For the trees from the scene, I'm using gathered twigs distress ink, and I'm carefully ink blending it onto the trees. I really love those scene dies by Bluebird, but with those tiny little pieces you really have to be careful not to bend the die cuts, because they really are rather tiny to ink blend on. But if you're careful, it works. Now it's time to create my house. I'm using a brick stencil by Tailored Expressions and Pumice stone distress ink to ink blend some bricks onto the house. Be sure to only use a tiny little amount of pumice stone because it's really intensive. Now I'm using the same distress ink to add a little shading to all of the parts of the house that I die cut out of gray cardstock off to the side, because I really only wanted to use rather soft colors, so I went with a light gray. I did want to add a pop of color on the door, so I cut it from some apricot cardstock, and I'm ink blending a little bit of the dried marigold onto it. Now I'm stamping my sentiment from the Jump for Joy stamp set, the So Thankful, and I'm using the Versafine Clair ink in Pinecone to add it to the hill. Now it's time to assemble my scene. I'm using the frame from the Spooky Scene die from Bluebird. I just left it white and adhered it with liquid glue. Now I'm also adding the hill and the trees using liquid glue as well. That finishes up the back of my scene, and now it's time to assemble the little build-a-house. Since this is my first time using it, I'm kind of trying to figure out where all the pieces go. So I start by adding the little light shadow out of some pale yellow cardstock to the back of the house. some of the glue was still exposed, so I used a powder tool to make sure it wouldn't stick anywhere it shouldn't. And now I'm just adding all of the elements to the house using liquid glue. I only added adhesive around the door, even though I could have glued it shut because I didn't end up using the opening for the door. I really wish I would have adhered it a little lower, but since it was the first time, I thought it was supposed to go that way. Next time I know better. I'm also adhering the little steps. And last but not least, I'm adding the window frame to my Build-a-House. Oh, no, I actually forgot the little chimney, which I'm adding here. And that finishes up my house. I added foam tape to the back, and I will adhere it to the scene we already created earlier. Just trying to figure out the right placement for my house. And now I'm just pressing it down. I almost forgot to add the little doorknob, which I'm adding here now. Here I'm trying to figure out how to arrange the images on my scene. I'm moving around the leaves to make sure which leaf I wanted to have where. I knew that I wanted to have them some on the tree and also a few on the house, and the pile of leaves above the sentiment, so now I'm just playing around until I'm happy with the placement. I've already added a little bit of foam tape onto the back of all of the images off camera, and when I'm ready, I just peel off the backing paper and start adding them to the scene. Now I'm just adding my little owl, and this basically finishes off the card. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe for more videos, and I will also leave links to my crafty friends to check out their projects. And I really hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye!